Hello. Jim sent in a, I guess he sent in a DC to DC converter, a battery charger, and a AMC 325 motor controller for evaluation and possible repair. He sent it in like a month ago, but as some of you guys might know, I was in the hospital 3 weeks ago and for 6 days with an acute transverse myelitis attack, and then I was actually in the hospital this last Friday through Monday with a kind of related but not really related incident that they're still trying to figure out what went wrong with that. They're thinking I might have 2 autoimmune diseases simultaneously, where one is affecting, like the transverse myelitis affects the electrical part of the nerves. I think I might have one that's attacking the transmitter receiver of the chemical part at the end of the nerves. I don't know. But it's caused, I had some numbness in the throat, trouble swallowing, no gag reflex. The only reason I know that is because they checked that when you go to the hospital, got admitted. And they give you the 1,000 milligram doses of Solectria steroids to try to get the inflammation and the immune system under control, keep it from attacking. But I'm done with all that. I got out on Monday, pretty much slept Tuesday and Wednesday, went back to work Thursday and Friday. It's pretty brutal. Feels like I've got a couple sandbags attached to my legs. Walking is really difficult. Hands are working pretty good. That was the 3 week ago attack. I was having issues with my hands not working. So it looks like I've got most of it. They're a little, not too bad, a little shaky, but still working. I still have these little holes here from when they, from IVs. That was from 3 weeks ago, and then there's one, where's it at? Right here from this from Monday, and then over here they did a bunch of blood work on me, and I've got some nice bruising where they're just like, there's a vein that comes out there and there's like where they decide to take all their blood from. But they did a lot of blood work, a lot of tests are out. I had to go up to the Mayo Clinic for them to do their analysis and their weird tests where they're looking for specific antigens and things like that on the protein transmitters and receivers, so who knows. Anyways, Jim sent in some stuff here. He needs evaluated a while ago, and I keep telling him I'm going to get to it, and then I end up going to the hospital, so this time we will get it done. So what we have here is, and he conveniently labeled each one, which is nice, because I like it when people do that. Putting their name on it would be also good, because sometimes I end up with a bunch of them. Like, people's email addresses may not match their name, or they go by a nickname. It makes it hard to keep track of everything, but usually I figure it out. I haven't accidentally shipped anything to the wrong person yet. So, what we have here is, he wants to know, does it work and what the unmarked wire housing do? What does the unmarked wire housing do? I'm assuming he means these wires right here, because this is obviously input, output. This one's 300 some volts in, 12 volts out. I'm not sure what that does. It might just be a simple, tells it to, what's got 2 wires in there? I don't know. I'll have to look. It might be a switched version, or possibly always on if this gets switched. I don't know. We'll have to look into it and see what happens. This is a DC to DC 750, which would mean it's probably 750 watts. Made by Solectria. This looks like one of Solectria's ones. It's listed as battery charging. Oh, these might be sense terminals then. Like if you had a 12 volt battery, you could run the sense terminals out to make sure they're actually getting the full 13.5 volts at the battery, at the actual battery itself. Milo, what are you doing? The cat has decided to eat some packing material. I don't know what's wrong with it. But anyways, first things first, something's loose in it. That's not a good sign. And second thing you should probably check is the fuse. Because, ooh, that's good. It's a big fuse. Yeah, it makes sense given it's a 500 volt rated fuse. Let me grab my meter here. So hopefully this guy's not popped, because I probably don't have another one like it. Oh. That's not a good sign. That's dead. Okay, so fuse is definitely blown. So looking for a 5 amp fuse. Is it blown or just, no? Yeah, it's, didn't look like it was crimped on there, but it is. So, yeah, okay. Problem 1, bad fuse. Might have something to do with the fact that the board sounds like it's not even attached inside. So, I guess, let me see if I even have any fuses first. So yeah, I have a few fuses around. Every time I go to the, you know, swap meets and like the Dayton convention and things like that. It's actually coming up. That's next month. I hope I'm walking better. Oh, I found there's even more fuses sitting up here. Look at that. I just found another thing. I have fuses everywhere. I have lots and lots and lots of fuses. And if you pick them up like these, I'll say $5 a box. Probably didn't pay that. I probably bought all of them for like $10 or something. This one I probably did pay $1 for because there's a lot of fuses in here. But I noticed, look, there's one of those similarly sized fuses in there. Could I be that lucky? As you can tell, I have never opened this. It still has, oh man, it still has a bunch of staples in it here. This is already going to be, I can already tell this is going to be a long video. Can only record for about 30 minutes because then I hit the Android file size limit. Good fuse with no markings on it whatsoever. Oh, it's a 7 amp fuse. 7 amp, huh? We might have to jerry-rig something to see what it does, but anyways, yeah, I have a lot of fuses. No more of those big ones in there, is there? I wouldn't want to put I might be okay to try it if I know it's working, but I'd feel more comfortable if I actually got the 5 amp fuse, because I'm pretty sure this cable here is probably only rated at 5 volts, or 5 amps. I doubt that can handle too much. So, keep this one in reserve here, but probably not going to have it, so alright. Okay, this is what you want to see anyway. Stuff getting taken apart, right? So I'll go ahead and open this thing up and see what's going on inside. It's missing a screw on either side. Here. I don't know if those were ever present or not, but I wonder if it's been opened before. The other thing I noticed is on the other side, an interesting manufacturing technique here where it looks like they, I don't know, it has a washer on it, the other ones didn't. There's stuff rolling around inside, that's not a good sign. They got these little press nuts that they've pressed in here and then they epoxied them in, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of I've never seen anybody really like thread in, but they've, well, I guess they could, no, they don't look like they're threaded. It looks like they're just pressed in. Just an interesting manufacturing technique, I guess. have a bit of a cold. I want an immune system suppressant, so it'll take a while to get rid of it, right? But it's not pneumonia. Last time I got pneumonia, so let's see how well attached is this to. There's definitely stuff not connected inside. Yeah. Alright, we've got one of these little straight edges here. Kind of cram down in here and get the RTV to separate. Oh, not too bad. Oh, it's not even attached at all. Nothing is attached. Why is nothing attached? What on earth has happened here? Jim, I hope you didn't pay a lot for this on eBay or something, because it's in pieces. Lots of pieces. Somebody's obviously taken this apart. These are all Vicor DC to DC converters, aren't they? Yeah. Huh. How is this thing even assembled if it goes on that plate? I must put the two halves together. Like they put everything on the heatsink, right? Nothing is attached. Oh, hey, thermal pads. Somebody's tried to repair this, maybe. There is some exploded parts in here. Huh. I like how this is all of the bulk capacitance of the entire board is just this. That seems a bit lax. What is going on? Huh. Well, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting it to be... Is this their entire output capacitance? Is just that? Wow. Okay. So, hey, it's serial number 219. Yeah. Not quite sure what happened to that. Gosh. They're listed as resistors. It says R6. Actually, a resistor? Kind of looks like a mauve. It says 13.2 ohms. 3.1K. Curiouser and curiouser. How on earth are you gonna get this thing working? I wonder if all these are all Vicor power supplies. It looks like there's a temperature sensor down in there too. There's a little, oh, that's what this is. Yeah, right here. that goes down in there. Here's a temperature sensor on there. And if you can see that, it's a little TO220 package down in there. But these are most likely Vicors or somebody's equivalent power bricks. These aren't fixable, they're potted. So earlier Solectria stuff, they made their own stuff, their own power converters. Well, I take that back. I guess some of the DC to DC converters, I fixed ones that have Solectria's own board in it. It's got a big honking inductor in there. It's just a big buck converter. Takes pack voltage down to 12 volts to run the rest of the vehicle accessories. But some of the later ones, this one says 98 on it. I guess later than that, or that inclusive of this, they didn't do their own DC to DC converters anymore. They just made a little like this, where they made a board and just bought the Vicors and stuck them all on there. So yeah, not sure how fixable this is going to be. If all those DC to DC converters are shot, then yeah, I just have to get new ones and replace them, I guess. There's not much going in here. I got a couple voltage dividers. If you look back on here, there's two versions. This one's the 12 volt version, but if you read over here, yeah, if I had it the right way, there's a 12 volt version and a 24 volt version. So I'm assuming some of these resistors in here set that. What mode it's in. But yeah. Huh. I wasn't expecting this. Oh, let's see if we can figure out what this does. J1. It's probably an enable disable would be my guess. But I'm not sure. Oh, you know what it looks like it does? You know what? I think that's what it is. I think it looks like it's hooked up. It shorts out the temp sensor, which would probably force it to turn on or off. Yeah. Oops, not on it, that's why. Yeah. That's what it looks like it does. So you could have an external temperature probe or internal temperature probe, or by shorting that out, you probably leave it open and it can read the temp sensor. If you short those two wires out, it probably forces it off. So they're just using that as an on-off terminal. That's why it's cut off. It's not used. It just would be in a normal vehicle. It would just be always on. So that's what, hey Jim, that's what these two wires do. It's just for the, it actually shorts out the temperature sensor, which is a kind of a cheaty way of making it do that, but yeah. Well, for all I know, the temp sensor in there could just be an on-off switch anyway, too. It could be just a thermal. Once it gets above a certain point, it shorts out. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here to get working, if it's possible. Probably, well, I guess one thing I could do is, I mean, the fact that the fuse is blown is not a good sign. So, well, positive in. One volt. 1 volt. 1 volt. uncharged up the cap though. 0.4, that looks like a diode. Looks like a diode. Looks like a diode. Looks like a diode. Okay, well, maybe they're not bad. Let's see what the outputs are doing. It's pretty low voltage there. I would assume, I'm checking all these individually, but in reality they're probably all connected in parallel, so it doesn't really matter. Then I check all of them. Now it's charging a cap. Still charging a cap. Charging a cap. Charging a cap. Huh. Well, they don't look, technically they don't look bad. I don't know what's going on here though. I don't know why that's so chewed up. Questions? Yep. What are these even for? There must be some kind of external mounting brackets maybe? Yeah, that would go like this, right? Except on this part. With one nut. One press nut. I don't know where the other ones went. And somebody scratched on it a bunch, tried to get it off. So, it's interesting. At least they included all the screws. Huh. Alright, well, I will, see what I can do. Alright, I guess I'll end this video here.